Once you have your template selected and you're happy with your choice, you click the Save and Continue button at the bottom, and it takes you to the step 2, which is called Modify Campaign Settings. Now, this is a super exciting area because this is really where a lot of the magic on the system takes place, and it really creates an environment that for you as a person creating the campaign is very beneficial, and I'll explain that in just a second here. To start out, you're going to see a little piece of text down here, and sometimes it's hidden and people don't realize this. If you get to this point, you change your mind and you want to go and sell a product, you can click this link and it'll change your campaign out to actually be an e-commerce campaign. But right below that, we try to keep things very easy to understand and not very complicated when you use add to action, and trying to simplify it so you can quickly run through it and accomplish your purpose of generating a marketing campaign. So with that, we have an area here called questions to appear on your lead form. It's just that. It's the questions that are going to be on the lead form that's on your landing page. Which ones do you want? Now inside this you have some different options you can select. I want you to be careful about this because sometimes when your gut feeling might say, hey, I want to collect all their data. Well, it's not always the best case on the internet. Sometimes it's better to collect fewer fields of data because they're more likely to put that data in. The more you ask for, it's a little bit more challenging it is to get the person to fill it out. So I'm going to remove the phone option here, and because on this campaign I'm probably going to be doing most of my stuff through email. I will select first name, last name, and email. So I want this person's first name, last name, and email that fills out my lead form. There's also a little option here called CAPTCHA, and I don't know if you've seen any of those sites out there that has an image pops up with all these squiggly characters in it, and you have to kind of read it and try to figure out what those characters are, and then retype them in order to submit the form. We have that option on here you can turn on. I don't always recommend doing it because it'll lessen the amount of leads that you get in most cases. But if you do have a campaign that you're running that you just think might get hit with a lot of spam bots, and these are basically robots that crawl the web and they automatically inject any type of advertisement or information into lead forms. This will prevent that from happening. So you might leave it off unless you run into issues, and it'll make for a better experience for your users. Right below that, you have a feature where you can add a custom question. So if you're, for instance, wanting to generate a lead on weight loss, you might ask them what's your goal weight, what's your current weight, what have you done in the past, and you can build out questionnaires based upon that. So I won't get into too much on that there. We'll talk about more of that in our advanced video. But right below that it says, how would you like to be notified of new leads? In this area here, we have 3 options of notification. There is a statistic out there that says that 80% of lost leads or lost sales is due to lead neglect. And so we don't want that to happen for you at all. So the system's going to by default send you the lead data when somebody fills out this form directly to your email. You can also set it up to do a secondary email. It's also going to put it into your lead manager, and then this is a very cool feature here. It can also text message you the lead so you can get it instantly. So what you do is you put in your cell phone number in this area, and then you select your carrier, whether it's AT&T, T-Mobile, and then when somebody fills out your lead form and hits submit, you're going to instantly receive a text message. And what's cool about that is you can follow up with them right there on the spot and increase the odds of you converting that client or that potential client. So it's kind of cool. Imagine somebody being on your site and they show interest in your product. They fill out the form, and then instantly you call them back and they're thinking to themselves, wow, that was quick. How'd you do that? Or let's say you share one of your landing pages with a friend or a colleague for a business opportunity. Well, when they fill out that form to request the information, you're going to know they're looking at it because you received that text message. And you can choose at that time to call them up and say, hey, I'm following up with you. And they go, wow, what a coincidence. I'm looking at your page now. So you have some different options there that make that really nice for any marketer. Directly below that is an area that says, would you like to give away a free downloaded product? And this is a lot of times when you're doing a campaign online, this is what we call a hook. It's the item that you need to have on your lead form that entices somebody to fill it out. For instance, fill out this form to get our free 10 tips to how to sell your house. And this is where you would actually upload those 10 tips. You would browse form. It needs to be a PDF or a zip file. You can limit the number of downloads, and then name your link. I'll talk about all that in a future video on how you use that effectively, but this is the area where you do that. One of the areas I'm going to recommend you pay close attention to is the area for contact information. You want to make sure this is completely filled out. And that pretty much wraps up our campaign settings area.